Give it a second.
We're going to start in just 30 seconds, waiting for everybody to get on. What do you think, Erin?
Let's do one more minute, Mark. We've got about 200 of us here now.
Cool.
Let some more folks join.
I have to say, these virtual backgrounds that you created for us make us feel like we're working in some like San Francisco-based tech art company or something. It's cool.
Why did you?
And that we have disappearing limbs.
All right, Mark, I think we're ready to get started.
Thank you, Erin. So welcome back, everybody. It's 3 o'clock Eastern time. You've had the opportunity to spend 3 hours with your ruler family. I'm really excited to get you to meet Nikki Albertson, who has been my colleague for a long time. Nikki, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Nikki Albertson. I'm the Director of Content and Communications at the Center for Emotional Intelligence. Mark and I have been working together for a couple of decades, almost 2 full decades. And I just wanted to say how inspired I am, even though I've been living and breathing this work for 8 hours a day or more, 5 days a week for almost 20 years. I am always amazed, just floored by all of the different ideas. There's always room to learn more, to do more. And there's just so much passion, creativity, innovation from all of you. So it's a very inspiring day for me. And I was really, I learned so much. So thank you so much for everything that you did, all of the presenters, all the questions in the chat. And I just wanted to say some of the things that I saw just takeaway wise. I don't know, Mark, if that makes sense.
Why don't we start off with the keynote? I mean, I was so inspired by Yvette's keynote. What did you, what's one of your takeaways from her keynote? And
yeah, so I think that you set it up well by sort of reflecting on all of the emotions, the roller coaster ride we've all been on in the last year. And then Yvette really reminded us all of the neuroscience, the neuroplasticity of the brain, and that we can do this. We all have potential to get through anything, but we really need the support of others. And so it was a great sort of call for us to shift our mindsets, if we're not there already, to remember that we all have potential to succeed. All of our students can succeed, and we all can do this, even in the face of a really, really trying year. So that was really inspiring to me. And just that concept of equity consciousness. And I'm really supporting everybody because we all have that potential.
yeah.
What about you? Did you have something specific from her?
I did, I thought that her sharing of her story, going on a train ride and seeing a sign, that said certain people can go here and other people can go there, and how much of an indelible scar that can leave on us, and how it really is our moral obligation to create a society, a world where everyone feels like they belong. And to me, the equity piece really shined in terms of, like, until everyone feels they belong, we're not doing the work.
Yeah, that's right.
So what about some of your breakouts? I got to send you, there were 3 concurrent sessions every note, so there were 6 possibilities, and it was hard for us to go to every one, but what were some of your key takeaways?
Yeah, so just to continue on the theme of everything that's happened in this past year, emotion-wise, I attended part of the one on trauma and resilience, and it reminded me to remind all of you that we just started adding some new videos on supporting children through stress and trauma onto our Ruler Online platform. So we just added 3 videos. We'll be adding 4 more over the next few weeks, but there were some great ideas there about self-care, taking care of ourselves, kind of shifting our thoughts so that we get through the emotions that we have, and then ways to help our students through trauma and to be resilient. I saw the other one that really stood out to me was one from a school that had been doing Ruler for 8 years, and just all of the different innovative things that they had done, like having themes for each year that focus on SEL, like gratitude and resilience, and emotions are contagious. Let's not be emotion vampires. I thought that was interesting. I saw some interesting things in the second session about the way that Ruler is sort of an on-ramp for work in diversity, equity, inclusion. There were ideas around book lists with diverse students, diverse ideas. And one thing that I thought was just a common theme in a couple of them that I saw that was unique. And the first time I've really heard it said this way is just make sure that this is something fun, that something that staff, it's not just another thing that they're doing, but something that they look forward to and really enjoy, and to make sure to kind of have that in the back of your mind as a Ruler implementation team, as you're moving Ruler forward in your work with especially the staff, because if the staff find it fun and look forward to it, then they'll be there to have that same experience with the students.
Yeah. The one that I attended, the one on well-being, and a lot of that is based on this national study that we did on wellness. And one other thing I want to share with everybody is the theme around self-care, right? Some people don't like that term these days, right? They're like, I don't have time for self-care. And so one way that I have thought about framing this is like, well, what are your personal goals? Like, what would you like to achieve for yourself? And then thinking of the things that you might do each day to attain those goals. Relatedly, in terms of like a lot of questions in that one were about, well, what do we do for our entire staff and our entire community? Like, how do we create this like global well-being within our kind of school or community? And what I want to tell people is go back to your charter, right? The charter is our tool that asks people, well, how do you want to feel? And for those of you who haven't heard us speak about this, but I'm going to share the one finding that really has resonated with me, which was that our national study of educators, when we asked them, how do you hope to feel, right? 3 years ago, happy. This year, appreciated. And so I just think that, doing that survey work in terms of the charter frequently can really help us understand the emotions that people aren't feeling and the ones that they want to feel. And then I think it's our duty to figure out, okay, so what do we do to help people experience more appreciation? What other things stood out for you? I feel like this is a talk show.
Yeah. Well, I just want to add that I think that it's really above all an inspiration that all the schools in the conference today, but through the years, have really just made space for this work, and really valued the importance of the work, and spent a lot of time planning and changing it as needed, and making it go well for their schools, because schools and educators are so busy and have so many demands put on them. So it's just always so impressive to me how far all of you have gone to really make this a part of what you do every day.
Neat. Any other sessions or any other takeaways that you found?
Well, I just want to plug the virtual photo booth. I know we're going to end off this in the next few minutes to show some of the things there, but if you haven't gone over to the virtual photo booth, it's really cool. I just made my first GIF, I don't know how you pronounce it, but that was my first one ever. Is really exciting. So check out the photo booth, and feel free to use social media to post those pictures or any important takeaways that you have yourself from the conference.
So why don't we give everyone an opportunity to do a little bit of reflection? As you know, we like to do reflections in our center because it's a way of processing. So can everyone, let's take a collective inhale and an exhale to just bring ourselves kind of into the closing moment of our workshop, of our day. And you heard Nikki and I speak about the things that stood out for us. What stood out for you? For example, from Yvette Jackson's keynote presentation. What's one thing that you might do tomorrow, next week, to embody that equity consciousness that she spoke about, to create that sense of belonging for all students? Let's all just take a moment and think about that. One thing that you might do differently. You know, one of the things that we say in the center is that, you know, you get to know someone, like Nikki and I know each other for 20 years, so we know like a lot of details about each other. You know, on the surface, you know, when someone new works at the center, you know their personality. Oh, this person's extroverted, this person's introverted, this person kind of is agreeable, this one kind of likes to argue a lot. And then you get to know people's motives, and you get to know, you know, the things that they're interested in. But at the deepest level, what I really took away also from Yvette's presentation is that you don't really know someone until you know their story. And that exercise that she did with her students by, you know, pushing them to think about a characteristic about themselves and they couldn't do it, a strength. And then she just spoke about one strength. And then all of a sudden it opened up the universe of all these strengths. And then when you see all those bubbles of all the things that that young woman wrote about herself, all of a sudden you get to know who she is as a human being. And then all of a sudden you have an entrance into their lives. So I'm wondering what everyone else's takeaway is. And we're not going to get to hear them, but I'm hoping that you're digesting them. Nikki, any last comments for everybody that are on your mind?
Yeah, just a practical thing. We want to know what you think. So there are surveys that you can complete about each of the sessions that you attended. You just need to click under the resource section in the navigation surveys. And we want to hear, you know, what were your takeaways? What could we do differently next time? What did you really like? So we want your feedback. And then we want to show them the virtual photo booth, right?
That's right. So remember, everybody, tomorrow opening keynote is with a fantastic colleague and friend of mine. Her name is Naomi Wei. She's a professor at NYU who studies the power of connection. She's the director of PATCH, which is the Project for the Advancement of Common Humanity. She's also studied toxic masculinity, something that we've seen in our nation before. And so I'm excited to introduce her to all of you tomorrow and for you to hear her keynote. And we've got more breakout sessions. And on that note, thank you for joining us today. And our colleagues, Aaron and Amanda, are going to get to show you the virtual photo booth, images of people from today. Have a great evening, everyone. And thank you for being with us.
Thanks, Mark. I'm going to pull it up on my desktop. And I just want to remind everybody that we do have networking from now until 4 o'clock under the community feature. So head on over. You can talk with like-minded educators and leaders such as yourselves and continue the conversation.
Love it. Love those virtual mints. Okay. This is the awkward part where we all just stare at each other. Again, I want to just wish everyone a great evening and look forward to seeing you tomorrow.